Hello, this is World University and Schools News, actually monthly business meeting on Saturday, November 18th, 2023 at 12 noon Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time, 9:30 p.m. India Time. And it's open, so you can join this conversation about free MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Google WUAS degrees in all 200 countries and all their main languages, and wiki schools in all 7,000 and some languages. Here's World University and Schools URL and about it with the World University and School logo, and the WUAS Educational Services Stores logo at the bottom for books and computers and robotics and hospital technologies and potentially Stanford MinePi cryptocurrency as we code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, and an academic press planned for all 7,168 known living languages for machine translation and machine learning as well. So as we wait to see if people will join us, I'd like to proceed with monthly business meeting, loosely conducted in the manner of Quakers, and begin with agenda item 0. These are the video minutes from last month's monthly business meeting on October 21st, 2023. And in the Korean mountain magnolia, national flower of North Korea, blog post from that Saturday, 10/21/23. Check them out regarding MIT OpenCourseWare-centric WUAS free degrees and WUAS abolition as well, and WUAS Quakers. Agenda item 1. Google collaboration with MIT OpenCourseWare-centric World University and School further. How? Elena Karen and Stanford Law Codex's Roland Vogel are people I've been in communication about this recently further. And MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Google WUAS Wiki World University and School reached out to Elena Karen, a Google director, one of about 1,000 directors I've read in a Harvard Business Review magazine article, I think, at Google, about further WUAS Google collaborations through a Stanford Law Codex presentation, and just heard back from Elena Karen a couple of days ago. Stay tuned about this. One of the things she was presenting about in this Stanford Law Codex presentation 2 Thursdays ago was a book she had written, The Adventures of Women in Tech and Careers for Women in Technology, and particularly at Google. And World University and School reached out and asked if she was interested in teaching a course in the Women's and Gender Studies Wiki School at World University and School. And she got back to us about that as well, namely that she's working full-time, and stay tuned. She might be interested in such a course in the future, I think was the impression I had. And I also asked her if Elena, please, how MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and School, of which I'm the founder, which is planned in 200 online, 200 nation states as major online universities for free bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB high school, and similar AAAS degrees and master's degrees in these countries' main languages, might possibly collaborate further with Google and possibly Google Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, since World University and School has been in Google since around 2015, and I'm presently also in Pittsburgh. And I shared with Elena and also Roland again, the approximately 9 online law schools at World University and School. And since she presented in Stanford Law Codex, I asked her also about how we might begin, potentially through a Google WUS collaboration, these online law schools, the Afghanistan Law School, the Brazil Law School at WUAS, the China Law School at WUAS, the Egypt Law School at WUAS, the India Law School at WUAS, the Jamaica Law School at WUAS, the Mexico Law School at WUAS, all part of and in and with the World University and School Law School in the USA, and also US states law schools, the Iowa Law School at WUS as the first one. And these are exciting opportunities to potentially collaborate with Google for World University and School. Further, agenda item 2, a business plan is what World University and School is continuing to seek, and for accreditation with Middle States Commission on Higher Education, with offices in the greater Philadelphia area and accrediting colleges and universities in 5 Eastern Seaboard states, and also in a parallel way for licensure with the state of Pennsylvania's Department of Education. And also part of this business plan, how to get the $11,500 to begin these processes with a business plan. And Google might be a tremendous organization and company to collaborate with in these regards. Agenda item 3, World University and School WUAS has a new address also in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and with a lease as the World University and School Academic Medical Center, and with warm water cure, and with a physical digital WUAS Longevity Genetics Institute, continues to seek to move into a newly safe, open 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon, California 94516, potentially sometime now in 2024. And you can see these blog posts, the Maltese Centauri flower blog post, and the Hibiscus sabdariffa flower blog post, both in November of 2023 in my blog, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, regarding these focuses. Agenda item 4. Flywire Princeton has successfully coded for, with citizen science, the connectome or brain of a Drosophila fly, and continues to share on Twitter and on YouTube videos and tweets about these remarkable developments of modeling how the connections in the brain of a Drosophila fly work iteratively. And most recently with, in one video on YouTube, with the words, for example, ascending for a specific brain state that it showed in the video, and descending for another specific, I'll call it brain state in the video, active neural activity modeled in this connectome brain of a Drosophila fly imaging, virtual reality, the visual projection brain state, the central motor brain state, the endocrine brain state, and others. And I created a set of tweets regarding how to code these brain states movements in a realistic virtual earth for brains, in one iterating realistic virtual earth, so for evolutionary biology, and for STEM, and for species, and in TensorStore, which is a way of storing data structures that relates to TensorFlow AI, artificial intelligence, Google's AI project that's unfolding with multiple systems developing all the time. And I want to say yay to Flywire Princeton for creating this neural wiring diagram of a brain of a Drosophila fly, such that all of us might begin to learn brain science and as citizen scientists, and begin to work with how these brain neural states might actually influence movement. So ascending, descending, and that would be through a virtual space, say in a realistic virtual Earth, think Google Street View with time slider, but also the endocrine system, so internal to the fly, and similar. And I retweeted a TensorStor tweet from Viren Jain at Stardazed0, who's the head of Google Connectomics in Mountain View, California. And the tweet he tweeted reads, TensorStor now natively supports S3 PyPI release 0.1.48 and after. And there's a GitHub link, github.com/Google/TensorStor for all of us who want to work with this library of TensorStor resources, a remarkable opportunity. And in a related vein, the possibility of developing WUAS artificial intelligence and with citizen scientists, so potentially our prospective students, matriculating students, in a realistic virtual Earth, and in collaboration with the coding structure of Flywire Princeton is amazing. So in what ways could World University and School students and volunteers and others develop WUAS artificial intelligence and work with all kinds of brain states movements, such as ascending, descending, connectome brain states, with the Flywire Princeton infrastructure, information technology. So agenda item 5, are aging reversal capsules and extreme longevity capsules going to emerge on the shelves of a Walmart or a WUAS educational services store, or in WUAS educational services stores, and when will they be FDA approved? So when will FDA approved aging reversal, extreme longevity genetic drugs be on the shelves of a Walmart or a WUAS physical digital educational services store in any given country? And such that we might get, for example, a bottle of capsules for 25 years old eyes, genetic drugs capsules, or another bottle of 150 years old plus multivitamin genetic capsules. And when might these emerge also from a realistic virtual Earth for STEM? So in potentially Google Street View with time slider, conceptually, Google Maps, Google Earth, TensorFlow AI, TensorStor, with Pegman becoming our avatar bot electronic, avatar agent electronic health records. Will this be by the year 2030 for the early ones of these 25 years old eyes genetic drug capsules, or these 150 years old plus multivitamin genetic capsules, and the potential for so many other related genetic drugs for aging reversal and extreme longevity is enormous. The FDA clinical trials process and approval process that's rigorous, helpful for protecting people and furthering studies is something World University and School may be able to help with also, with our planned clinical trials for people, speakers of all 7,138 known living languages, packets sent through the mail of possible drugs to test to people in all 200 countries and speakers of all 7,000 languages, and also potentially in a realistic virtual Earth for STEM. And I retweeted a tweet regarding a capsule making like a factory in the image, and how all dosing discs, the tweet reads, made by Syntagon, all dosing discs for your GKF capsule filling machines are manufactured and quality controlled in our own production facilities. Watch the video and see for yourself. Hashtag service, hashtag GKF, hashtag dosing, hashtag capsules. And World University and School may explore from a California base, creating such pharmaceuticals, California-based pharmacy companies, or similar, or possibly in the USA as well. Agenda item 6. I heard a great US Asia Institute affiliated with the US government talk a couple of Friday mornings ago. And Nikki Cheong from Malaysia originally, now based in London, and Janet Steele, a professor at the George Washington, I think, University, or Georgetown University in the DC area, and Nissa Dotson as moderator, talked about a digital boom, discussing political climate of Southeast Asia in the age of social media. And I've inquired with them, particularly with this panel's presentations focus on Malaysia and to a secondary degree on Indonesia, how MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and School, Malaysia World University and School in the Indonesian language, in the Malaysian language, might develop in remarkable ways, and how we might come into conversation with each other, Nikki Cheong and others, about this, and potentially in collaboration with the US government. Agenda item 7, a new set of developments at World University and School, and regarding Avatar Agent electronic health records, WUS Avatar Agent electronic health records, potentially for all 7.9 billion people. And coming into conversation with an article that Bill Gates posted, entitled "AI is about to completely change how you use computers and upend the software industry," that came into my Yoga Macflower at Gmail account. And a set of tweets, thanks Bill Gates, all. So how might Avatar bot electronic medical electronic health records best become Avatar agent electronic health records? Per year, AI is about to completely change how you use computers and upend the software industry. And in 200 online medical schools at World University and School, and 200 online hospitals in 200 countries and in their main languages. And Bill Gates's article focuses on the role that artificial intelligence agents may play in upending the software industry in the next 5 years, for example. He writes, To do any task on a computer, you have to tell your device which app to use. You can use Microsoft Word and Google Docs to draft a business proposal, but they can't help you send an email, share a selfie, analyze data, schedule a party, or buy movie tickets. And even the best sites have an incomplete understanding of your work, personal life, interests, and relationships, and a limited ability to use this information to do things for you. That's the kind of thing that is only possible today with another human being, like a close friend or personal assistant. In the next 5 years, this will change completely. You won't have to use different apps for different tasks. You'll simply tell your device in everyday language what you want to do. And depending on how much information you choose to share with it, the software will be able to respond personally because it will have a rich understanding of your life. In the near future, anyone who's online will be able to have a personal assistant powered by artificial intelligence that's far beyond today's technology. This type of software, something that responds to natural language and can accomplish many different tasks based on its knowledge of the user, is called an agent. And he writes, I've been thinking about agents for nearly 30 years and wrote about them in my 1995 book, The Road Ahead, but they've only recently become practical because of advances in AI. So how might avatar agent, electronic health records, come to shape perhaps how we as individuals interact with even a personal MD or our medical systems, and looking ahead, even with aging reversal genetic drugs emerging potentially, or extreme longevity genetic drugs emerging potentially, will a personal assistant artificial intelligence agent be able, as a personal MD, be able to tell us what genes we might want or could benefit adding to our bodies? Per the video from Harvard and MIT professor of genetics, George Church, in the Harvard Medical School's 60 minutes, 67-second video, where he says, aging reversal is not about editing genes, it's about adding genes, in which they're experimenting. So Bill Gates continues, a personal assistant for everyone. Some critics have pointed out that software companies have offered this kind of thing before and users don't exactly embrace them. People still joke about Clippy, the digital assistant that we included in Microsoft Office and later dropped. Why will people use agents? The answer is that they'll be dramatically better. You'll be able to have nuanced conversations with them. They will be much more personalized, and they won't be limited to relatively simple tasks like writing a letter. Clippy has as much in common with agents as a rotary phone with a mobile device. An agent will be able to help you with all your activities if you want it to. With permission to follow your online interactions in real-world locations, it will develop a powerful understanding of the people, places, and activities you engage in. It will get your personal and work relationships, hobbies, preferences, and schedule. You'll choose how and when it steps in to help with something or ask you to make a decision. So Clippy was a bot, not an agent, Bill Gates suggests. And could at World University and School, in each of all 7,168 known living languages, World University and School develop AI agents beyond personal MD, artificial intelligence agents, for example, or personal MD geneticists and as possibly professors, as well as music teachers, for example. Fascinating times we're living in. Bill Gates has a focus on healthcare and education in this article, and productivity and entertainment and shopping. Stay tuned. And regarding avatar agent electronic health records, there are technical challenges, Bill Gates writes, namely new kinds of databases, for example, new information technology structures. These will be a fascinating new set of developments, further innovation. And Bill Gates also writes that privacy and other big questions are significant in these regards. World University and School may engage in a whole variety of questions with regard to our 200 planned online law schools and our 200 universities in their main languages, regarding developing, for example, avatar agent electronic health records and avatar agent potentially professors, MD surgeons, and similar. Agenda item 8. This regards the Scottish Gaelic language as a new possible way to approach a university as a large language model. And what will this look like? So large language models are models that can understand language and generate text. And how could World University and School begin with the Scottish Gaelic language? And possibly for WUAS degrees, since degrees are one defining aspect of accredited universities. Could we collaborate with Savile WUaSGoogleCollabDevs on the Isle of Skye in Scotland for WUAS degrees as large language models? Those people who choose to study at Savile WUaSGoogleCollabDevs on the ground on the Isle of Skye, and possibly also post-coronavirus pandemic on via video, make up a significant portion maybe of the people on the planet who are actively interested in taking courses and studying for degrees presently in the Scottish Gaelic language. There are many opportunities to potentially increase these numbers, and perhaps large language models will help with that. What would a collaboration between Savile WUaSGoogleCollabDevs on Skye and World University and School look like for Savile WUaSGoogleCollabDevs degrees with this large language model? And how could we possibly create both? And possibly in conversation with Sarah Jane Campbell, who is at Savile WUaSGoogleCollabDevs on the Isle of Skye and has worked with the British broadcasting system in the past, and who might have a fascinating knowledge of what the British public and Scottish Gaelic learners might seek in engaging a new media, such as large language models, from her experience in working with the British broadcasting system and now at Savile WUaSGoogleCollabDevs. Exciting way to conceive of how World University and School also might create 200 online universities for degrees in those countries' main languages, with this Savile WUaSGoogleCollabDevs possible collaboration with World University and School. Agenda item 9, a new China medical school at WUAS planned in the traditional Chinese language, which is an MIT OpenCourseware language. The MIT Tech Review, China Medical School at WUAS began a new China Medical School in conversation with some tweets that Antonio Regalado, an editor, a biotech editor at the MIT Tech Review, tweeted. And the website for this is China Medical School at WUAS, wiki.worlduniversityschool.org/wiki/China_medical_school@_WUAS. And has recently added the two beginning WUAS genetics and genomics wiki schools subjects, which are only in English so far, to this China Medical School at WUAS, and which will eventually be in Chinese, all in traditional Chinese, and not only Mandarin, but Wu and Cantonese languages, and potentially all of the languages in China, which are indeed many. So this is retweeting a Antonio Regalado tweet from the archives opening of a medical school in Shanghai, early 20th century, showing my great-grandfather, Edward Hume, at right, a 2018 reunion of the descendants of the people in the photo, including Antonio Regalado, Michael Chow of Harvard University in the Church Lab, and the photo care of Michael Chow. Check out the China Medical School at WUAS in its beginning form, and as it potentially develops into a Chinese languages set of medical schools. Agenda item 10, great new developments with a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs in Google Earth virtual reality, and which we can all build together. So I blog about this in the Common Opium Poppy National Flower of North Macedonia blog post, which is in November of 2023 in my blog. Able to get into Google Earth virtual reality into the Harbin Valley, and the Google Street View with time slider Harbin Gatehouse links are still up, and with time slider you can go between the years 2007 and 2012. See the fire engine in 2007, the fire engine, the vintage fire engine near the Harbin Hot Springs Gate is not there in 2012. That's an example of how the time slider in Google, a time slider in Google Street View will work. It's just one example how to connect the Google Earth virtual reality Harbin Hot Springs Valley, the whole property, an overview of it, with the Google Street View with time slider set of links to further develop this emerging realistic virtual Harbin Hot Springs, this realistic virtual Earth. These various URLs for Google Earth virtual reality and Google Street View with time slider are all there, and building blocks in a sense. And will we be able to all create this? In what ways will we be able to best create this together? And with also a planned second Harbin Hot Springs ethnographic book, potentially from Google Street View with time slider, text in the sidebar, and printed to paper, as well as also to new devices, such as a brainwave headset, digital glasses, into a multimedia room with maybe projection lamps and projection cameras around the four sides of a room, creating holograms even interactively, and avatar agents. All of this is possible in fascinating ways, and with implications in developing this realistic virtual Harbin hot springs in Google Street View with time slider, Google Earth virtual reality, in developing little Pegman, the avatar in Google Street View with time slider, into avatar bot electronic medical records, and even for aging reversal genetic drugs research and extreme longevity genetic drugs research. This is a set of tweets and retweeting George Church's recent tweets, Antigen Logic, which is focused on Boolean searches, Boolean statistical searches that will become and are very significant for finding new approaches potentially and making new discoveries and creating new knowledge too about aging reversal genetic drugs and extreme longevity genetic drugs. How will this all come together? Boolean searches, other kinds of approaches to search in a realistic virtual Earth, realistic virtual Harbin hot springs in Google Street View with time slider, and Google Earth VR with Pegman becoming avatar bot electronic, avatar agent electronic health records. These are emerging information technologies that the Google ecosystem may make very helpful. Agenda item 12, to potentially protect people regarding abolition, abolishing the wrongful buying and selling of people in the illegal sex, drug, and violence, et cetera, industries, and WUAS law schools, and being in asylum from the SF Bay Area on the Eastern Seaboard as I am, set of tweets reads, how to plan to abolish modern slavery in the illegal sex industry, et cetera, and in 200 countries, WUS abolition, new Quaker abolitionism, with a new Quaker abolition movement, and at Friends Journal, at Edinburgh Central Quakers, EdCen Quakers, hashtag SF Quaker meeting, and with avatar bot electronic health records, and potentially to end poverty, hashtag end poverty with hashtag UBI experiments too. And I'm glad we live in the USA in an abolition society since around 1865, with the Emancipation Proclamation and civil rights laws in the 1960s forward to this day. And this is retweeting French Guiana celebrates Abolition Day on the 10th of June, marking the end of slavery in 1848 there. Agenda item 13, how will World University and School at WS Press contribute to AI regulation conversation in 200 countries and in so many, and in their main languages, with 200 large language models and WUAS law schools? So will this be in conversation with the White House, which has been calling for artificial intelligence regulation? And there are a couple of articles in these regards in this agenda item 13, from the Harvard Business Review, from the European Parliament, from various parts of the White House in Washington, DC. And will World University and schools, law schools, and being in 200 countries' main languages be able to contribute to this conversation, information technology and coding-wise, and with our faculty in unique and helpful ways? Comparatively, faculty in all 200 law schools talking with each other, and with the information technological infrastructure of World University and School in 7,168 known living languages, and in Wikidata's 300 languages, and potentially in Google's 1,000 languages for translation as well, as we seek to grow to another 6,900 languages or so at World University and School as wiki schools for open teaching and learning and people-to-people free education with a MIT OpenCourseWare-centric focus for quality and for depth of knowledge, STEM orientation, and similar STEAM orientation. Agenda item 14, yoga and WUAS. At the top of my Twitter is a yoga question mark, professor of anthropology, sociology, and information technology, and president and founder of World University and School profile heading. Thanks to Antonio Regalado at the MIT Tech Review for posting the following Yoga Pants Science Magazine review tweet, and read on. And I created a set of tweets regarding this tweet and retweeted this tweet. Hashtag YogaWise, hashtag inner body, hashtag meditation releasing explorations regarding wonderful and visionary Angela and Victor's yoga. What is yoga? And created a blog post to come into conversation with Antonio Regalado. The cheeses flower, which is the national flower of Mauritania on Monday, November 13th, which further focuses on what is yoga, and regarding World University and School too, and regarding the hippie Angela yoga notations as well. Check it out. Antonio Regalado retweeted with yoga pants, fitness watch, sweatband, brain implant, and an image of a woman wearing all these potential technologies as technologies. A science review article which describes a new science review describes methods to enable wireless power transfer and energy harvesting through and within the human body. And I continue to come back to YogaWise inner body meditation releasing explorations, and YogaWise regarding wonderful and visionary Angela and Victor's yoga. What is yoga? And came into conversation again with Antonio Regalado by creating this blog post in beginning with the cheeses flower and national flower of Mauritania, and regarding MIT OpenCourseWare-centric wiki World University and School as well. Agenda item 15. Thanks to Google Connectomics research scientist in Mountain View, Viren Jain, virenjain.org, at Stardays 0 or on Twitter, for his recent article in Nature, How AI Could Lead to a Better Understanding of the Brain, for writing and tweeting his Nature article recently. And he was laying out in this article, in part, all the data sources that are used to inform connectomics and brain research presently. And I asked how Ed Boyden's MIT professor, who has created great advances with expansion microscopy might inform some of these connectomics brain modeling endeavors that Viren Jain is the director of for connectomics in Mountain View at Google, and also how a realistic virtual Earth might, for brains, might facilitate this further. And also with TensorStore, and regarding also Flywire connectomes and various resources for like an hour-long video to begin to work programming-wise as citizen scientists with the Flywire connectome. This all is potentially interoperable with all of us creating a realistic virtual Earth for everything and a realistic virtual Earth for STEM by a new method, STEM Wiki Virtual World Graphy, or Ethno Wiki Virtual World Graphy. And given the vastness of both the molecular and the cellular worlds for all species, and the vastness of the Earth itself, data-wise, there's much work for all of us to do creatively in these regards. So changing focus, the WS Corporation, the WS Press, is a World University and Schools other wing, second wing. And recently, we've been in communication with the Stanford MindPi cryptocurrency and regarding an amazing Pi roadmap with interesting insights also into developing cryptocurrency and mainnet blockchain information technologies. So Pi recently retweeted, "Pioneers are encouraged to go through roadmap version 1 and leave their feedback, and which will be invaluable in shaping the content and direction for roadmap version 2 with a form to fill out." And the URL mindpi.com/ROADMAP. And this was tweeted by the Pi Core team, twitter.com/PICORETEAM, a couple of days ago. So World University and School reached out to Swaroop, who's at World University at the Pi organization, and had also reached out to Chengdao Fan and Nicholas Kokolis, and Peter Norvig and Nihar Naryala, the director of the Digital Currency Initiative at MIT, or was so, and John Hennessy, the former president for 16 years at Stanford and now the chair of Alphabet, and Lydia Pincher, the product manager for Wikidata in Berlin, regarding the possible collaboration and a partnership proposal between Stanford MindPi and the WS Corporation. And after filling out these roadmaps questionnaires, these Pi roadmaps questionnaires, World University and School responded to some of the questions they asked in this way. Pi asks in this form, "Do you have any suggestions for improving the clarity and structure of the roadmap? Looks great, yet with the WS Corporation, MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and School having received a partnering email from the Pi Network organization in March of 2023, how about including partnership word searchable in this roadmap?" And Pi asks further, "What other specific historical information would you have liked to see? Please specify which part of the roadmap you are commenting on. As you may know or may not know, I wrote, and in the WS Corporation, MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki World University and School partnering with the Pi Network, WUS seeks to code for all 7.9 people on the planet in all 200 countries and in their main languages. From here, wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/u_at_world_university, and to end poverty by seeking to distribute a single main cryptocurrency Stanford Mine Pi cryptocurrency via something like UBI experiments. So this is part of the historical roadmap that might be interesting for the Pi organization to engage. Pi asks further, what additional information would you like to see in the quote in progress section? And this may be the above may be the section that would be most appropriate. Pi continues, please specify which of the roadmap you are commenting on. How could the Pi, and I ask at World WS Corporation, how could the Pi Network organization extend this to all 200 countries' main languages, or to speakers even of all 7,168 known living languages? The section on, quote, released translation mechanism to enable Pi chat moderator community to help translate the UI user interface text in the Pi mining app in 50 languages, later extended to Pi KYC Know Your Customer and Fireside forum apps. And Pi asks further, what specific elements would you like to see elaborated in version 2 concerning upcoming features, requirements, upgrades, and initiatives needed before the open network period? And in parentheses, WS Corporation responds, possibly something about a video, how and when some pioneers will actually be able to buy or sell something with Pi on the mainnet blockchain when this eventually happens, e.g. an example or an instance. And World University and Schools partnering proposal emerges from my Pi coins accumulation having dropped 900 Pi coins quite suddenly. And perhaps this was also, in a way, part of this partnering that this question asks about. And Pi further asks, do you have any specific suggestions on how we can better present the comprehensive plans for Pi networks in closed network period leading into the open network period? Looks really great. Pi asks further, any other comments or suggestions? And I write for the WS Corporation, how best please, besides such forums and on Twitter, for the WS Corporation, MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki, World University and School to communicate with Pi network further. And in the WS Corporation, for example, seeking to list on the emerging Silicon Valley long-term stock market, and potentially with Stanford Mine Pi cryptocurrency for all 7.9 billion people on the planet in all 200 countries and in their main languages. And use these email addresses, Pi support at minepi.com, Swaroop Pudel, pudel.swaroop@gmail.com, Swaroop Pudel, swaroop@minepi.com. Thanks, Scott G.K. McLeod. So as founder, president, CEO, and professor of CC4 licensed MIT OpenCourseWare-centric Wiki, World University and School, WUAS, with addresses in the San Francisco Bay Area in Canyon and addresses in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. For particularly our WUAS Corporation, our second wing, a for-profit general stock company, legal entity in California, but for both as well, as World University and School seeks to, on both wings, code for all 7.9 billion people on the planet, each a Wikidata PIN number. So in the 5 minutes remaining, agenda item B on the WS Corporation, WS Press Wing, WS Home Robotics and the WUAS Educational Services Stores for Robotics, Books, Computers, Hospital Technologies, and a possible initial purchaser of WS Lego Robotics kits, and even regarding a WUAS business plan for the Middle States Commission on Higher Education with offices in the greater Philadelphia area. I was recently staying in Lycoming County, north central Pennsylvania, for a couple of weeks, and met some librarians in the Lycoming County Public Library in Muncie, Pennsylvania, Corey Brenneisen was her name, and two directors at the James V. Brown Lycoming County Public Library in Williamsport, and learned that they don't have any Lego robotics kits to lend their patrons in the Lycoming County, and that they're part of 7 counties, public libraries, school districts, in north central Pennsylvania. So in both a meeting with Corey Brenneisen a number of times and emailing the directors at the James V. Brown Library in Lycoming County, and talking with some librarians in the close by county at Union County, where Bucknell University also is, have inquired whether they might be interested in getting Lego robotics kits from the WS Corporation, all 7 counties, who knows, 10 Lego robotics kits for each branch in each county, 70 Lego robotics kits, and potentially to set up World University and School's initial purchase of Lego robotics from the WS Corporation, even with a purchase order or something, and potentially also as a business plan, and how to tie this with making World University and School free degrees for matriculating students in all of these 7 counties that Corey Brenneisen referred to, that make up a district for 7 counties public libraries, in a way that matriculating students at World University and School who were taking WS home Lego robotics courses could come to their county's libraries, if their families didn't buy the Lego robotics kits themselves, and check out, say, Lego Spike Prime robotics kit, to be able to work through the course and possibly matriculate into World University and School, or work toward their free online degree. And since also Lego robotics kits work with the free Scratch programming language out of the MIT Media Lab and the Harvard Graduate School of Education. So exciting possibilities. I also reached out to Bucknell University through a chess gathering with 3 Bucknell University students who were originally from Pakistan, northwest of India, and who are Urdu language speakers as their first language, regarding possibly them becoming heads of Pakistan World University and School in Urdu, and with Lego robotics and Lego programming, Scratch programming in the Urdu language. Stay tuned. Agenda item C, the last agenda item before we close. This comes in conversation with a tweet from the MacArthur Foundation President John Palfrey, and regarding Press Forward and creating a focus. His focus, or what he was tweeting about, was developing presses in specific places and supporting them in interesting ways. So I created a set of tweets in response to his tweet, which I'll read in a second. Thanks at MacFound, President at J. Palfrey, Ray, #PressForward, the academic press at WUAS, worlduniversityandSchool.org/academicpress.html, at WUS Press, planned in 7,168 living languages and in 200 nation states, seeks to create WUAS newspapers as large language models. And at the WUAS Universitian newspaper, and even with WUS student writers from home, So could World University and School facilitate journalists in many houses and dwellings around in all 200 countries, and to expand the role of the media and help create the benefits that a free press offers to societies in the USA and also in all 200 countries. So John Palfrey tweeted, quote, "Today, 6 places have stepped up to create press-forward locals. This network can grow into a movement." Our president, Jay Palfrey, announces the next phase of Press Forward at the #Democracy Forums panel on the role of local news in democracy. And this was retweeting an Obama Foundation Democracy Forum tweet. So these 6 places may refer to cities around the world, cities around the USA, Chicago, Boston, Seattle, Houston, and similar. And World University and Schools prospective students could also participate in these conversations from all their places in all 200 countries and potentially in all 7,000 speakers of all 7,000 languages to facilitate further democracy advances with local news. So that's the World University and School monthly business meeting today. And I'll post this video recording to the youtube.com/Scott McLeod World University and School active YouTube channel for your perusal, and also post it to twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH and twitter.com/WUASPRESS. Until next third Saturday for monthly business meeting at 12 noon Eastern time, an hour long, and until Monday, November 20th, 2 days from now, a monthly business meeting at 1 p.m. Eastern time for the next WUAS news and question and answer, an open time for you to join the conversation, ask your questions, share your answers, and similar. SGKMACLEOD at worlduniversityandschool.org is our email address if you might be interested in matriculating at World University and School or wiki teaching on our wiki schools in your language and from your country. Or if you know of students who might be interested in matriculating for free WUAS degrees that are MIT OpenCourseWare-centric on an emerging Google WUAS platform. Until next time, bye for now. I'm Scott McLeod. This is World University and School.org, MIT OpenCourseWare-centric, free degrees planned in all 200 countries, and all their main languages, as well as an academic press and WUAS educational services stores, physical, digital, planned in all 200 countries and in all 7,000 plus languages as well. Until next time, bye for now.